everybody, and a very warm welcome to Virtual Sim League's the final round of the Formula Euro Open and round number 10 of the regular season. It is Portimao circuit tonight for the Portuguese Grand Prix, and 4 drivers separated by less than 10 points. A bit more about the permutation just a little bit later on. My name is GeForce, and joining me once again it is Mike. Mike, how are you doing? We had a great race last week whilst I was off.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. Obviously, fantastic race ahead of us. And of course, last week, an incredible race from what we saw. I mean, Glock, it looked like he had the pace in qualifying, but then a virtual safety car speeding on the restart, gave him a drive-through, which tumbled him all the way down the order, which allowed Enzo 33 Max to pick up the victory. And of course, the debutant, Yoshin, coming through to pick up P2 in his first race in VSL, I believe, altogether. I mean, it's first race of the season thus far, but I believe it could be his first race altogether in VSL. So, fantastic result from Yoshi. And race again coming through in P3, but Glock did manage to recover his way back up to P4 in the race. So, it wasn't all doom and gloom for the Mercedes driver, but that virtual safety car definitely cost him a chance to kind of seal this this regional championship up.
But that does make the regional championship even more exciting. So Enzo, after his win last week, he is leading on 57 points, and then that's 6 points separating himself and Glock in P2 on 51. 1 point behind him is Massa on 50. Then we got Casper on 47. So 10 points separating all 4 of them. Those are the only 4 that can realistically win the Formula Euro Open, and if any of them win it, they will get 15 points added to their overall season tally. Second place gets 10 points, third place gets 5 points. So plenty of things on offer, and I'm just seeing who's leading the overall standings, and it's still Glock on 133 points. So I know he's aiming for the overall season, but he wants to surely go for a second championship, right?
I mean, why would you not? I mean, you got the opportunity to pick up a regional title. I mean, you got to go for it. I mean, he's in a good spot. Obviously, 6 points behind the leader, Enzo, in terms of the regional championship. Why would you not want to try and wrap up the regional title here? Because this track, very tricky track, and of course, one where you can see a lot of mistakes happen. So it's going to be about who can capitalise on those mistakes.
Exactly, and here we are then in Portimao, first used in Formula 1 back in 2020 during the COVID pandemic. It wasn't the first Portuguese circuit. 1951 was the first Portuguese Grand Prix in Estoril. It was the third circuit, and it wasn't hosted around the Drivers' Championship until 1957. It was hosted at Revista and Monsanto. 1996 we saw obviously Jet Villeneuve and Damon Hill battling quite a bit through there as well, and it was provisionally on the 1998 calendar, but that got removed unfortunately as well. But Portimao, the Algarve circuit, real challenge for the drivers due to its undulating nature, and there are certain corners that are reminiscent to Spa-Francorchamps and Imola. We're going to try and find someone who's on the lap. Let's go on board with Yoshin, who finished P2 last week. Starts for a long straight towards turn number 1, tight right-hander once again, and that can be taken into third gear heading towards turn number 2. Turn 3, the sharp right-hander, it can be very quick, so you need to make sure you downshift to 4th gear to avoid understeer. Turn 4, short straight heading towards Toro bit, or turn 5, which is one of my favourite iconic corners through there as well. Second sector starts with turn 6. There's a little kink in towards turn 7, and then going up the hill and towards turn 8. It's a very blind apex, and I think these drivers will find it even trickier to get around there, and it's caused quite a few unfair disqualifications in a few leagues. Let's hope it doesn't happen tonight as Yoshin gets past turn 11. David sets the first time on the board at the moment as Yoshin gets past in towards, what turn is it? It's turn number 13 and now turn number 14. Heading towards the roller coaster section, now in towards turn 15, as Lando Norris will like to call it usually. And let's see, can Yoshin get pole position at this iconic track? Nope, he can't. He's in 4th spot, but Finley is currently P1.
Yeah, Finley had a good qualifying session last week, and it just kind of fell apart for him in the race, and it just didn't go Finley's way on that day. But definitely a driver that's shown some very good pace over the course of the Formula Euro section of the championship.
Yes, let's see who else is on laps then as they head towards the final set to Glock, who could have wrapped the championship last week, but didn't due to making a few mistakes, and the VSC as well. But he's got a second chance to do it tonight as he goes down the hill through the roller coaster section. His main rival, that's who he needs to beat, is Enzo. Enzo hasn't set a time yet, but Glock, P2, not quite pole position yet, but as long as he can beat his main rivals, then that's all he cares about. Yarham in P7 at the moment. Here comes another podium sitter from last week. Nick, I thought he wasn't going to race tonight, but the powers that be at work, the persuasions have worked, it seems, and he slots himself into P4. Then we got, I think, Speed Knighton, by the way, who's his sister, by the way, has just given birth. So congratulations to Pete's sister. He's now become an uncle, so that is why in our admin chat he's called Uncle Pete, which I find quite funny, but in a good way, because I always wanted to be an auntie and an uncle, and Pete gets to be an uncle before me. But anyway, Pete up to the line, P12, I won that 18.7.
Good lap so far from the drivers out there on track, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be taking the most risks around this track, because it is one of those tracks where it's high risk, high reward, especially through a lot of these undulating corners and with the elevation changes. Who's going to be more eager on the throttle in some of these heavy traction zones? And obviously, the higher the risk, the higher reward, but also the higher the risk, the higher the chance you go around spinning.
I have to say, there can be a lot of spins around here, as I found out in previous F1 games around here. I haven't done much Portugal races. I don't think I've done a league race around here, so I don't know what it's like usually. As Ewan going very slow on his outlap at the moment. Let's hope he gets going before he gets disqualified. Let's hope he doesn't get disqualified right now. But I believe Casper is on a lap now. Casper narrowly being with a chance to get this title, and he needs a miracle from the other 3 drivers in order to do so, but you got to be in it to win it. He got 12 points last week, finished in 5th place. His best result in the main Formula Euro Open Championship, he got 21 points in round 7. Oh no, Casper's invalidated heading towards turn 13, so he lost it there, so he's going to have to go again soon, and we only have 10 minutes of this session still to go. Ewan has cut the chicane in turn 7. That is not what you want. I don't think anyone else is on a lap at the moment, so let's go through your order. As Finley is on pole position. Now we got Glock in P2, Jabin in P3, Nick in P4, Twisted in P5, Yoshin in P6, and Lakitu in P7. He made his debut last week as well in the league. Unfortunately, he retired and caused one of the safety cars. So very unlucky for him. And I think it was a game issue that he had as well, which was a bit of a shame. But he's looking to redeem himself and get his first point in the league tonight. And I'm glad he's here to give himself another chance. I thought we were going to have a full grid tonight, but obviously we've had some no-shows tonight.
Yeah, but 17 drivers on the grid, and that obviously is going to provide a lot of good action out there on track. And obviously there's some names out here tonight. Obviously Ickelbox currently 12th on a 118 flat. A lot of time here to improve. We're still waiting for times to come in from the Matter. Big boy Ewan, who's just started, is flying that right now. Enzo, Casper, and of course Gareth. Still waiting for times for these 5 drivers.
Yeah, they don't have long to do so as well. Of course, we also got Lordy, who I've known quite a long time in other leagues, such as, you guessed it, PSGL. I was the one who took the F2 role, I think, just the year, or a season after he was doing F2, and I commentated on his league for a few races this season before I had to do something else, and I really enjoyed it, actually. So he owns a good league as well, and he's not doing too bad on lap times either, so 1:17.247 on the memes, I believe. But was his best time on the memes? Let me just check. Yeah, his best time was on the memes, so that's really good. So I think he can improve just a little bit in just a second. But let's watch you, and then as he heads towards the final couple of corners then as well. And this is where we see, I think, quite a few instances in the gravel trap in real life, of course. Only pretty much 2 races he's had in real life. Obviously, he's had more in VSL. Up to the line goes Ewan. Only P13, so not able to set a competitive lap time at the moment. Let's watch Enzo, our Formula Europe Open Championship leader after last week's win, looking to get a second win in a row. And basically, long story short, if he outscores his main rivals, he's won the championship. That's going to be the easiest thing. Glock needs to outscore Enzo by 7 points pretty much, with Mata and Casper not scoring much either. Mata by 8 points, and Casper needs to outscore all of them by 11, 12 points. So it's going to be a big ask for some of these guys, but Enzo's got the easier job tonight out of the championship contenders. Only 9th.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, first lap that Enzo's managed to get on the board, so might not be his full potential around you. Obviously, making sure you get a lap on the board early on is ideal. So the likes of Glock, Twisted, David, Nick, Yaham are going to be a lot better set to improve on their lap times throughout the session compared to Enzo.
Yeah, as the track evolves quite quickly around here, probably quicker than quite a lot of tracks on this game as well. So they just got to be wary of that. But let's watch the McLaren driver of Casper Glock, our championship protagonist, 1:16.128. Currently sits fastest, but let's see what Casper can do. Currently sitting 4th in the championship. He needs to be higher than that if he wants to stand any chance up to the line. Only 7th for now, but he's still got time to find on the board, so it's not over yet for the McLaren driver. Anyone else on laps? Not at the moment. I think most people are on out laps, and obviously this is the first race since last week that they're in the F1 cars after the patch has hopefully fixed the equal performance issue. It was a shame that we didn't do the F1 cars last week, but at least they got to run nice liveries, which was good. But it wasn't the best livery template on this game. I believe Gav's going to go into the pits, actually. Let's watch Mata, our other championship contender, currently sitting in P3 on 50 points. Purple set to 1 out of the ones around him. This is looking good.
Yeah, good sector 1 so far from the Mata, and he needs a big lap on the board right now. Just over 5 minutes to go in the session. He is running out of time to deliver.
Yes, as is all of these drivers, as well as he heads past in towards turn 8 and into the kink of turn number 9 in that Red Bull. And I have to say, Red Bulls have had a history around this circuit, and Mata is looking to repeat that. Purple sector 2 out of the ones around him. So I'm guessing into the 160s he will go. It may not necessarily be purple overall, though. It's just purple out of the few drivers around it, because I think they're running 119s, 18s, so he should be, I think, comfortable here. It's going to be his first lap, so I'm not expecting anything quite big around it. It is a long run to the line. P7, not too bad for the Mata. And Yoshin, purple sector 2 out of the ones around him, and this is looking quite quick. Now, Yoshin at 1:16.9. Current pole position is a 1:16.128. As we go on the outboard shot with Yoshin, as he's looking to get a win. He just missed out on the win last week. We had some nice battles with Nick as well. Looking to have some more battles with a lot of drivers too. Up to the line. P4, looking pretty decent so far. It's quite close between our top 4.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Yoshin looking to carry on the form from last week and be up there battling towards the front. I'm interested to see what the likes of Finley and Twisted are going to do in this race, because of course they are 2 drivers that can throw a spanner in the works for Glock in terms of trying to take the regional championship. The same with what's called for Mata, Enzo, and Casper. If they're thinking about taking the championship as well, like they're the drivers that can throw a real spanner in the works.
Yes, and don't forget, Twisted is a VSL champion. It was last season, and he delivered as well. And his form hasn't been up there this season. Obviously, he is a reserve driver. And I think there's certain other VSL champions, like Speed Knights, for example. He could be up there on his day. He's done really well in Portimao in the past in some leagues as well. So there are plenty of opportunities for certain drivers just to take some points away from them. And if your driver's lower down in the championship, and if you want to score as many points as you can to take them away, as Lordy goes for a spin in turn 8 and resets the track, then it's going to help you quite a bit. So, yeah, 2 minutes left to go. Few drivers out of sync at the moment, but I'm almost certain that some drivers will be going into the pits. And by the way, we have got the America's Cup in just a 2 weeks' time. We've got a week break next week. And the America's Cup, by the way, starts with a 100% race around Brazil. That's going to be the special event. No qualifying. It will be reverse grid, reverse championship order in 2 weeks' time. So that's going to be fun around Brazil. It's going to be starting normal time, though, but we just won't have short qualifying. I don't know what I'm going to do with my voice in a couple of weeks' time, but there we go. I think Nick has backed off, so I think he's going to go into the pits. Yarham's about to start his run. Some people are leaving it early to get their laps in, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, some drivers out there pretty early on. I think this is a little bit safer for them, making sure that they do have enough time if they get an early invalidation to get around again.
Yes, Yarham currently sitting in P8, looking to find at least 6 attempts in order to get pole position, passing towards turn 4. Some people backing off of their lap times. Let us know in the chat who do you think is going to be getting pole position. Don't forget, there's also the Tier 2 Formula Euro Open Championship to be decided as well. So 2 championships to be considered here today. Yellow flag set to 1, 2 and 3, but that's people moving out the way. I think Ewan is about to start his run. No, that is Ewan just, he just started his run. Casper is, I think, going to be finishing his run right now. He's finding a bit of time in the final set. What's it going to be? P3. That is very decent for Casper. Anyone else about to finish? I believe it's Yarham up next. He's got 53 seconds, but he doesn't have enough time to recharge his battery, really, to go again. So this could be his prime opportunity. Up to the line goes Yarham, 116.572. Next, we got the Haas driver, I believe. It is twisted.
He's all out of shape. He's all out of shape in the middle and the final sector. He was 3 tenths up in the first sector, but over the course of the other 2 sectors, he threw it all away.
Yep, so he's gone into the pits, but a few people just crossing the line. Once again, David goes up to the line to start his final lap, so we'll keep an eye on him in just a moment. What about his teammate, though, of Enzo? Someone has just spun. Someone has just spun. It was one of the McLarens in the final corner. I think that was Ewan. Yes, that was Ewan into the final corner. So that is run done. Leroy is not going to finish his run. We got Lakita, unfortunately, who has invalidated. So that is him over. Glock spun! Glock's around! So that is his charge for pole over. He's going to hope that no one beats that. Finley, only a few 100ths improvement for him in the first sector. Casper, he's about 23 seconds down, so he's not going to improve. Next is, I think, one of the... No, it's not one of the Alpines, it's one of the Williams. What can Johan do? He could spoil the party, maybe? No, P6, he wasn't able to improve. We've got one of the Red Bulls. The Matter is looking to secure another title, which he hasn't done in so long, but he could do it tonight. Is it going to be pole for the Matter? No, but P3 still pretty decent. Next, I believe, will be Nick. But it's not Nick. It's his teammate of Finley, but only managed P2.
Enzo to the line. Oh, it's only P10 for Enzo.
Only P10 for Enzo. Nick's backed off. Lordy invalidated. So, Glock didn't need to worry about his spin. He was a little bit too close for comfort there. He starts the final round of the Formula Euro Open in P1.
Yeah, and the fact that Enzo really struggled in qualifying puts the advantage squarely in the hands of the likes of Glock, the Matter, and Casper. in this because, of course, Glock needs to outscore Enzo, as you mentioned, by 7 points. So if Glock goes on to win this race, literally Enzo needs to finish P2 to keep it alive. And if Glock wins with the fastest lap, I believe it's over and done with. I think no one can take it away from Glock at that point.
Exactly. So, something to keep an eye on. We will keep an eye on permutations as we go through as well. But don't forget, the overall championship will be taken into consideration at the America's Cup as well. So we have 2 championships to crown then. But let's look at the overall standings for qualifying. Glock is on pole by 87 thousandths over Finley. We've got the Matter in first. We've got 3 of the championship contenders in the top 4. Twisted in 5th. Yoshin in 6th. David 7th. Johan 8th. Nick 9th. Enzo, what can he do from 10th? He's going to find it really difficult. Lordy in 11th. Then we've got Ickelblocks in 12th. Speed Knight in 13th. Lakitu 14th. Leroy 15th. Gareth 16th. And Ewan in 17th. Ewan unfortunately being about 3 seconds off the pace, but we are going to be in for a cracking finale of the European round. This is something that F1 should do in real life. Oh wait, they are planning to do it in real life apart from certain tracks. I wonder why they just got certain tracks at certain parts of the year. Money. Yeah, money. It is quite overcast.
Yeah, I have just loaded in right now, so yeah, I can see the conditions, and that could bring a whole different dynamics to this race. Because obviously, will we see the wet conditions come through in this race, and if so, when will it happen? Will we see everyone on a set of hards go into the rain, or will we see some mediums and softs come out to play if it comes a bit earlier?
That's a good point. And are we expecting pretty much no rain to come? Maybe it might rain towards the end, and it may not be wet enough for set up the Inters. So they've got to be very brave, and they just got to stick the money where their mouth is and have a gut feeling about what they're gonna do. Pretty much the corners to watch out for if the rain was gonna come: turn 7 and 8, turn 11 with the fast left-hander, and the final corner lap with the roller coaster section. We've seen Glock get caught in it with the spin, so we're gonna hope nobody else gets caught up in that spin as well. We haven't been told by the drivers what the weather's gonna be, so let me check the chat. Actually, I didn't ask. Well, looks like the drivers haven't been complaining that much, so I'm thinking that it's going to be a dry session, which is boring for us, but at least it's good for certain drivers. Matt are in the chat saying how TF I might P3. Well, you put in a good lap, my friend, as well. And there were certain drivers that felt like they could have had a better lap, and they could have potentially do better in the race. But we've seen in many VSL races in the past around Portugal that people can climb up the order.
Yeah, absolutely. And qualifying is one thing, but obviously having consistent pace in the race, that's ideally what you want. Because you're going to be gaining your points in a race, it's not in qualifying. So to focus on the race pace around you. As long as you've got consistent, good pace around you, you'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, and you got to put in the practice as well. It was started to be on the F1 games in 2021, and I do remember putting in a lot of practice for one league when we first did Portimao, and I ended up getting 9 seconds worth of penalties on the first race I ever did, because I was still trying to find the track limits and experiment with them as well. But track limits could be a thing around here, not as much as Qatar, luckily, which we experienced on the first part, and I was worried that my mic was on mute for a minute, but luckily it wasn't, hopefully, if you could still all hear me. But we are about to go underway. It's a 2-minute countdown pretty much, whilst the drivers have a bit of a comfort break and getting their strategy sorted before we get into the race. I haven't done much races to know what the strategy is around here. I was trying to find a good strategy around here, and it's very tough to find one.
I believe it's a hard medium around you, and I believe you're going to be pitting from the hard, so around lap 18 on the set of mediums to the end. So it's very similar to like a Spanish GP, what's called in terms of tyre strategy. Very similar.
And we're on the formation lap, and let's look to see if our strategies have come true. So, top 5 are on mediums. So that's Glock, Finley, Mata, Casper, and Twisted. Yoshin is on the hards. David and Yaham on the mediums. Nick's on the hards. Enzo, our championship leader, on the mediums. Lordy and Ickelblocks are on the hards. Speed Knighton is on the mediums. Lakita's on the hards. Then we've got Leroy, Speed Gareth, and Ewan on the mediums. So, majority on the mediums, but quite a few people opting for the hard. It does depend how you can heat the tyres, because it does take a while to heat around here. But I think if I was at the front, I would definitely start on the mediums, because you would get a good getaway. But the ones near the middle, probably the right decision to start on the hards potentially. You're going to be slow at the start, but you're going to be very quick at the end.
Yeah, and obviously early on in the race as well, fuel is at its highest. Everyone's going to be battling early on, and so like being on a set of hards, just sticking in a train, it's not a bad idea for these guys on the hard tyres. I was on board with Glock on this formation lap, and I did see that he did lose it into the wall on the formation lap, so that's probably knocked a little bit of confidence out of him early on into this race. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see him under pressure immediately from the likes of Finley and the Mata.
And I've had word with him in the chat that there might be some rain mid-race. So that's probably why it's getting quite overcast at the moment. That's going to spice things up a little bit. So I wonder if the drivers are on the hards because they want to extend their stint until the rain comes. Or maybe, you never know, the rain may not come at all. It is set to approximate at the end of the day as the drivers get on to their grid slots. One more round of this European section, and then we head to the Americas. The America tracks, Brazil, Miami, Canada, and then we end at Las Vegas, which is cruel for track limits at Las Vegas, to be honest. And that is where I got my first DNF of the game, around Las Vegas, and I absolutely hate that, but that was, I think I've done the back straight towards just before the Las Vegas strip, which was an absolute nightmare. But no harm done, as we're about to start the 5 red lights around the Elgato circuit in Portimao. Gluck on your right, Finley on your left, and we are underway here in Portugal. Let's see who gets a decent start. Look at one of the McLarens actually trying to get an almighty start, but Gluck pulls away from the Mata. Finley not having the best of starts either, with Casper and Twist trying to go side by side. Nose Italian in towards turn 3, up the hill in towards turn 4 now as well. Half throttle through there, and then go full throttle once you get on to the straight. Glock is absolutely loving life at the moment. Finley trying to get P2 back. We do have David trying to be... There was a lot of contact in the background, it looks like, as well. I think Ewan has lost a bit of places because of it as well. Enzo stay where he is in P10, but he's got Lordy under pressure. Quite a lot of chaos already in lap 1.
Yeah, a bit more contact between Yaham and David as well, coming through turn 8. As they now approach into the final sector, they're still side by side, and Yaham takes that position, David backing out of that, and I think that was quite wise.
That was definitely wise, so understandable. Sometimes you know when to back off and when to put your foot down, as Enzo and Lordy heading towards the roller coaster section then. Lordy trying to go around the outside of Enzo. Enzo trying to keep his line on the inside. It is a roller coaster session for a reason, but Enzo just about covers him off. Finley gets past Mata once again into P2. That is, I think, believe turn number 1. As Casper tries to get Mata. So Mata's struggling. Has Mata got damage?
Not visually from what I can see, but maybe he had a little bit of a half moment coming out of the final corner, perhaps.
Yeah, so I thought they were a little bit further on than I intended, but no, they were a little bit too close together. It's just the timing's being an absolute idiot. As a yellow flag, that was, I believe, Ewan that had a little bit of Spinaroonie, so his day has gone from bad to worse. Meanwhile, his teammate is absolutely loving life at the front in 3rd spot, but he wants to get past 2 cars in order for him to do what he needs to do to stand any chance of claiming this title. But Glock is pretty much the favourite so far, with the championship leader only in P10. DRS will be activated very, very soon. And timings, please fix this house before I go into a corner and absolutely cry, because it's hard to see otherwise. But anyway, position changes. Casper up 1, Johan up 2, as well as Leroy, and Gaff up 1. Biggest losers were Yoshin up down 2 and Pete down 3. So he was another one I think that got caught up in the mischiefs in the start.
Yeah, crucially though, at the start of lap 3, the gap between Glock and Finley, 1 second.
1 second is the gap, so Glock wanting to make sure nobody gets any dose of DRS from him, because then otherwise he would pretty much be breezed past and he will lose a few positions. So he's definitely doing the right thing. The closest at the moment has got to be this battle between Twisted and the Matter, and I'm almost certain the Matter has either made contact with someone or he's just struggling a little bit with his tyre temperature as well. It's hard to gauge what's the best tyre temperatures around each track because it's different. It's not like F122 where the minimum tyre pressures are the way to go in the dry conditions. In different tracks, it works different in different ways. So they just got to play around a little bit with that, play around a bit with the brake bias as well. But it has been a few months, so hopefully they're used to it by now. And Finley has pretty much got the gap that he needs to get some DRS soon, but he's not going to get it yet. He's going to get in towards turn number 4, but first of all, heading towards turn 1. So Finley was saving a little bit on his tyres and nerves, it looks like. Past turn 2, in towards turn number 3 they come. At the DRS detection point will be now, so this is where he's going to have to put the hammer down, goes Finley. As Lewis Hamilton will say, in towards Torre Vip. Not close enough for Finley as he stays behind. Twisted not close enough to the Matter either, as Ewan picks up our first 3-second time penalty of the day. So that is not good, especially with a track which is so cruel with track limits.
Yeah, absolutely. And Yoshin really struggling, falling back even further now, down to P10, as Nick and Enzo have managed to get through on the Ferrari now. The Matter really struggling at the moment, and this is quite bad for the likes of Twisted and Johan, because 1.4 off the back of Casper. Casper's going to have DRS on Finley, who's going to have DRS on Glock. They're not going to be able to close up as much as they would want with the slingshot with DRS here.
Yeah, and you don't want to get holed up by a car which is struggling on their tyres, as Ewan has spun again, unfortunately. But I think Matter is struggling for straight line speed as well. Here comes Twisted. He has to get past with a DRS, and he does. He couldn't afford to be behind Matter any longer. Now it's definitely a warning, I think, from Twisted there. But Twisted is up into 4th place. Johan has got to do exactly the same. But the downside is Matter's going to have DRS from Twisted now. So he's not going to have the same effect currently, as Twisted is now starting to close in on this train. And is going to bring Matter along with him as well. But Twisted is out of DRS as well. So maybe Matter can get past once again on the next lap. It may be a little bit of a switcheroo. But look at that time that Finley has found on this lap. It's absolutely incredible. It was about 1.5 seconds earlier. Now it's about 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, Finley absolutely flying right now, as everything seems to be going wrong for Ewan out there on track, as he's around again. The McLaren really struggling here, and I'm not sure what will go on. Yeah, he has retired in the pits. I think.
I wonder if he's had connection issues or controller or wheel issues, maybe, but only time will tell. But here comes a change for the lead. Finley versus Glock. Glock to the right hand side. No, Finley to the right hand side, sorry. That's Finley.
Oh, here comes the rain.
The rain has come. Wait, what? So
The rain has come.
early. So Glock said it might come mid-race. And look at this. We've got it now. That is approximate weather for you. So if you're on the mediums, you're on the right tyre. If you're on the hards, you're screwed.
Honestly, with it coming so early, I would have thought that the softs might have been a good call in the end. Like,
But they wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have known when the
Yeah.
rain was coming. So the mediums was probably the best point of call anyway. But I wasn't expecting to come this soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It all depends now on how quickly this track goes from dry tyres to intermediate share.
Portugal is a track that is known for wet weather, of course. I think my first ever race around Portugal was, I think, LOE, and it was raining. It was on intermediates. And I managed.
I don't think I've seen the checker flag at this race in a league race ever.
I think that's what some people would hope to do tonight as Yarham comes in. Now that is early. Is he thinking that the inters are... I doubt it, because I don't think it's quite damp, but we've seen Yarham take risk before and it's paid off, so let's see. I do see green tyres, so inters for Yarham.
Oh, maybe Yarham has done enough practice to know whether or not this track dampens up quicker than expected. I mean, right now it does look it looks dry on track, to say the least at the moment, but it might go into this pretty soon. We'll have to wait and see, but for right now, I think Yarham's going to struggle to keep pace with these dry tyres, but I mean, as it currently stands, he is closing in on the car ahead of him.
So you never know, he may have played this strategy well, but he's increasing the gap a little bit just to try and warm up his tyres because it is quite cold and it does take a while to heat up compared to the others. So, what will the other drivers do? Will they come in as well? Some drivers will have to double stack as well. One driver that is good around here is Casper on these changeable conditions. He's going to try and get past Glock and he is about 2 tenths behind. He could get past both of them in, but he's lost a bit of time on the straight. But let's watch Glock here. To the right, he thinks about it. He thought about it, but he's not going for it right now. I think a lot of these drivers can play it safe for now. But if I was Casper, I would take one risk and try and get past one driver at least. But as the sun tries to peep out a little bit, but the rain is like, no, not going to happen. Oh, yellow flag. That is Enzo. Enzo, our championship leader.
Enzo around, that is massive for Glock, Casper and the Matter in this race. Absolutely huge for them in terms of wanting to take home the regional title. Twisted with a 3-second time penalty.
Speed 90 is out, safety car.
I think that's bad for Yarham.
I think Yarham was hoping that a safety car would not come out, and it has. So, but again, you can't predict when a safety car does come out. He was hoping that everyone else will be caught off, but I think what most people are going to do is pit for some intermediate tyres. I think there's certain parts of the track where it is slippery, and the more downforce you are running around here, the better it will be. So what is Finley going to do? So Finley's coming in, so is Glock, Casper is in. Yeah, everyone is coming in at this point. If you're not in, you're going to just lose so much time. And if you're on the wrong tyre, well, everyone's going to be on the wrong tyre. So you've got nothing to lose at this point.
Joe, for a moment, I thought Glock potentially... Oh, Finley's putting the hards.
No! Finley's forgotten to change his tyres. And Yoshida stayed out. And Lordy's on softs. Nick's on mediums. Wait, what?
Yoshi, disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. I have no idea what that's about, but...
It's inters. It is inters. You can you see the droplets on the ground?
Yeah,
It is intermediate tyres. Finley is going to struggle. And the ones who pitted on the softs or mediums, they just shot themselves in the foot. I don't think they were meant to do that, unfortunately, but they just didn't think the rain was going to come soon, so they didn't think about what to do. They didn't think it would be a possibility. They were hoping for no rain, and look, there's rain. So, if I were them, I would come into the pits, because they may lose the position down in the long run, but they're going to lose so much more time if they stay out on the tyres that they're on.
It depends on how long the rain's going to be here for, and if it does stay for the foreseeable future. Because if it does, obviously it's kind of leaning towards the intermediate tyres right now. If this rain begins to clear up while we're under the safety car, I mean, Nick Lodi and Finley potentially would have just had an absolute masterstroke in strategy.
But we don't know at this point, because we weren't given the weather forecast, so we don't know whether it's going to be like that. But if Nick and Lordy come in, they're staying out. Oh, so I wonder if the rain is not here to stay. I've had a similar situation when I was commentating on another league, where some people stayed on dry, some people stayed on wet, some people went on to inters, and it was just nobody knew what side to be on, because it was just like dry, wet, dry, wet, dry. It was just like a change of an instant. And I think there was one point when everybody was on the wrong tyre, but they didn't want to risk it. We could see something similar crop up here as well. But why would you stay out on dries now? You just gotta, even though you're gonna gain in the long, you might lose out in the long run. I just don't get it. I just don't think the rain's gonna ease off quick enough. If it is, fair play to them, but I would have played it safe and go out on it. I would have gone on out on inters, because you would have been where you were anyway. And would you have lost out? No. But I'm not the strategist.
Well, the interesting thing is no spray's being kicked up from these cars yet. So
but it is damp.
It is damp on track. The question is it too damp for the dries?
Yes. Safety car said, no DRS disabled. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, we won't get it because obviously disabled in the safety car. Duh. Now, the one that's going to struggle the most is Finley. He's on the wrong tyre altogether. If you want to be on a slick tyre in these wet conditions, you would be on the soft tyres, which will be Lordy. Not the mediums or the hard tyres. So let's go on board with Finley at the moment. And you can see that he's going to crawl quite a bit towards the final corner. He's crawling a little bit, and we'll see. Let's go on board with Glock. Look at that traction. He's right on the back of him, and we're going racing. And Finley will have to brake so much earlier, but Glock could brake so much later. So let's see what Glock does. So Glock, so Finley's holding him up a little bit better than intended. But we're seeing, I think, starting to see some moves. Yarham and David going for a move in towards turn 4. Twisted, under pressure now from David as he goes to the right-hand side. And they're all on inters. Right in the middle of this and towards Toro Vip. Glock gets past Finley.
Oh, contact Nick going into the back of, I believe that was Yarham as he was,
yeah.
Oh, it's David and Yarham locked tyres.
David's dropped down to P12. David's dropped down into P12, so he's lost a lot of time. So is Leroy and Enzo.
Oh, David's around.
David's around. You got to be careful to not spin around too much, because you don't want to get disqualified. And I did see a losing front wing somewhere. Or I might be imagining things. Finley's now been passed by 2 cars. Oh, ooh. Damage of front wing from someone.
I think that's Twisted with a damaged front wing. Yeah, it is. He's missing a front left end plate.
And the ones on Finley and Lordy are... Well, Lordy will start in 10-minute restart anyway, so... It's just the ones on those... Yeah, the ones on those dries, they're all coming in. They thought that they could play it out and say, you know what, let's stay out, but... Oh! David's out the race, and we got another safety car. No, VSC. I thought it was a safety car then. Oh my.
Lodi has stayed out, which is interesting. One thing I am enjoying about this is that we have Glock, Casper, and Namada, first, second, third. Whoever wins between these three on track wins the regional title.
I will have to do some maths here as well. So we're not going to crown somebody and then a few minutes later they'll be like, no, that's not going to happen. So, yeah, actually it's true because I think it's for Glock and Matter, they're 1 point separating between each other. With Casper, I think it's... 4
points behind Glock.
4 points. So, yeah, that could be true. As look at Ickle Block's passing Matter for third place. Lovely helicopter shot, by the way. But what a move from Ickle Blocks as Matter trying to catch him on the inside towards 10, 13 and 14. Very tight right-hander coming up as well as he turns the wheel. As Lordy dropping down ever so slightly, and Enzo trying for all his might, bless him, to get past the tyre that you do not want to be on. Fair play if Lordy can make those tyres last for a bit longer, but I doubt it's going to happen. Here comes Enzo in towards turn number 1. Does he get past him? Of course he does.
Well, I tell you what, right now, the fastest man on track, it looks like it's going to be Ickle Blocks.
Ickle Blocks, I think, was doing quite well in Baku until safety car happened and internet outage happened for everyone in the UK, pretty much. Well, almost everybody. There were some internet providers that got away with it, but mine didn't. I think mine was out of action for like an hour or two. Ickle Blocks almost lost it in towards turn 9, but he is catching on the top 2. And did you say that people like Ickle Blocks can spoil it in some way by taking championship points away from the championship competitors? I'm excited about this.
Yeah, Ickle Blocks, Nick, Twisted, Finley, all these guys are capable of playing spoiler here tonight. We got Gareth up in P5 at the moment. That's a
fair play.
Good so far from Gareth.
Yeah, Gareth's usually the one that likes to stay out of trouble, and when he stays out of trouble like this, he performs pretty decently as well, and he's usually the one who likes to read the conditions well, so not that surprised to see him do up there as well, but most importantly, can he keep it up to get his best result of the season? It would be great to see. He was a Tier 2 champion from last season as well. So, nice to see him improving race after race. As Lordy has to hang up the curtains on those softs. He probably should have come in 3 or 4 laps ago. But fair play to him for giving it a try. And he's going to go on into. So everybody will be on the intermediate tyres now. The question is, will it dry up or will it stay as it is?
Well, that's going to be a big thing now, because obviously, if it remains wet throughout the rest of this race, then Finley will be taking home the 2 points of fastest lap. So no fastest lap would be involved in the championship fight at the top. If it does stay like this for the rest of the race.
So it will be Glock that will win the title as it stands. And then I think it will be... I'll have to do some maths, unfortunately.
That's like P2.
Yeah, it will be by I think about 1 or 2 points over Matter. With Enzo not scoring much, that's going to be huge for him. But let's watch Casper then, as this is a key, crucial point in this Formula Euro Open Championship. Heading towards turn number 1. No, not quite. I'm just seeing what the ERS is like. 41% for Casper. I can't see it on the HUD for Glock. What his ERS is like.
Similar. ERS.
It is similar, as Enzo gets past Leroy up into 8th spot, but Casper on the edge of trying to get past into Torre Vip. He was almost going to be late on the brakes there as well, but Glock going a bit deep. Casper could have took an advantage there as they all both made their way towards turn number 6. Heading towards turn number 7. Finley's got a penalty, but we don't care about Finley at the moment. We care about the championship protagonist. And this could be very, very tight towards the end. Mata struggling a bit more compared to these top two, which strongly suggests that at the start of the tyre stint, Mata can be fast, but the more that you stay out on those tyres, the more that you struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. The Mata, I don't think is coming to tonight as prepared as what he usually is. He seems a little bit off it tonight, but I mean, right now he's in P4. Obviously, you never know what can happen in this race. Penalties and late safety cars could play a big factor. But now we're on board with Casper. Casper's trying to close up to the back of Glock, but doesn't look like he's going to be close enough.
Maybe not, but there's no DRS either, so they have to rely on a lot of straight line speed, and this is a track which requires so much more downforce than certain tracks on the calendar. Glock braking a little bit earlier there. Through turn 4, Casper had a bit of oversteer through turn 4 as well. So that would have costed Casper more time as they head towards turn number 5. Quite a few drivers are playing it safe as we head towards the halfway stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Glock and Casper right now appear to be the two informed drivers out there right now. Blocks does appear he has the pace, but it doesn't look like his setup's very stable with the amount of times he's had a little bit of a snap at the rear end. And that just costs him increments of time here and there and prevents him from closing in as much as he would have liked.
Yeah, I think so as well. And that is all about the consistency around these type of tracks. If you don't get that consistency right, then you're not going to catch up to the front lot and you're not going to score a chance of having some decent points on the board. As Twisted picks up a penalty as well. So we've got 3 drivers that have picked up penalties so far. And they're going to hope that we have no more safety cars. They're going to hope it dries up pretty quickly, though. And let's see. Position changes then. The Keto up 7 and Gareth up 11. So those two are getting quite a lot in this race. Same with Leroy as well. So both the Alpines having a decent day. And Ickelblot's up 9. So these guys are showing what they're made of in the intermediate conditions. And we are seeing who's made of the right stuff there. I think Casper's lost a bit of time to Glock. So I wonder if Glock has put the hammer down on this lap.
Potentially. I mean, both of them are very similar on ERS usage, and they're still very similar right now. I think Casper might have made a small mistake somewhere.
Yeah, I think he has, because he wouldn't have lost that much time like that in this lap. Or maybe he's just playing it safe. Maybe he doesn't want to push too much in the wide that his tyres may fall off the edge of a cliff. And for some of these drivers, they want to try and get those inters to the very end of this race. And with a track like Portimao, with the amount of braking zones that you have, it's a lot trickier than you might think to do so. You've got to have really great time management skills. Casper is a driver that is good at time management skills anyway. So that's probably why he's dropped off a bit in certain parts of the lap. So maybe in the final few laps of the race, that is where we could see Casper challenging. But we're going to try and see if Casper can go for it once again. He's going to be using his overtake right now. Heading towards the start-finish line. He goes, heading towards turn number 1, past the pit lane. Nope, not looking likely at the moment. They're using a lot of track limits as well. No one else is looking dangerously close to go for moves here at the moment. So it's getting towards quite a phase of the race, as it were. But Casper could try and change that, maybe. Towards turn number 5. He's got to be late on the brakes if he wants to get that move done. Nope, he's not going to do that, unfortunately. But Casper's not giving up. He's pretty much matching Glock in certain parts of the lap here.
Yeah, I think Casper's game plan right now is be cool, calm, try and force Glock into a mistake by just keeping him under that pressure.
Yeah, that is what you've got to do at this point as well. And maybe force into potentially a driver getting a time penalty. Because that's what certain drivers do at certain technical circuits like this. Maybe try and put in a lot of pressure, because sometimes there's certain drivers that may not like the pressure. And if they're not used to it, that's when the penalties picking. Well, these two drivers are well experienced anyway, so they're probably not going to be doing that. But they're going to be thinking, what is the other driver thinking? So Casper, this is probably his best chance in a few laps, but I think Glock has more. I wonder if Glock has got more straight line speed here, or did Glock use ERS here?
I believe Glock used a little bit of ERS.
Alright. Okay.
Casper did not use any ERS down the pit straight there, so he's trying to save up a little bit of battery now, and of course he is using a little dab of it here and there with some of the key traction zones, but he's not being over exuberant with it. As Glock goes a little bit deep again through the hairpin, and that eventually I think that's just going to catch him out at one point, and I think Casper will be on the inside of him.
Yeah, so surely Casper must have noted down in his head what corners around this circuit is Glock struggling at, and you could take advantage of that. And if you're good at that, you're like, ooh, game on, I could potentially take advantage here.
Yeah, the issue for Casper and Glock is that man in P3, around about a second off the back of Casper now, Ickle blocks. He has been closing in, makes a mistake, drops back several attempts, and then begins to close in again. But if Ickle blocks can cut out those small little mistakes, he'll be right on these two.
I've just seen why Yoshin got disqualified. He's saying he's so stupid, he drove past the safety car, he didn't see it pulled in on the left. Jesus Lord. What do I have to say to that, Yoshin? You bottle job.
I would never say such a thing to you for that, Yoshin. It's an easy mistake to make.
I know. But I can't really say much because I haven't led a safety car, so I'm sorry. But I've seen some certain content creators in the early games hit the safety car and they got disqualified for it.
Look, safety car moved in front of me, right? It was not my fault.
No, I'm not talking about you. I was not talking about you. I was talking about some other people. But wait, have you done it?
I've done it a few times, yeah.
Wow. As Philly has picked up a 3-second time penalty, by the way. So, yeah. To be fair, it is so easily done as well to miss a safety car. I think the only time you can overtake a safety car is if you're not the leader and you are trying to catch up to the pack, pretty much. And if you're not lapped either. Cody's, if you're watching, please allow it so lapped cars can unlap themselves. I mean, otherwise it'll just get quite boring otherwise. But anyway, we are starting to see the battles creep up a little bit. I have had a quite middle part of the race, but now it's getting a bit busier again, which is what we want to see. But this time it's between the two blue cars, Mr. Gav and we got Mr. Yarham, the ones who gained quite a few positions in this race, as Yarham almost had a moment, but he's kept his car back in shape. The Ickle blocks though has gained quite a lot on Glock and Casper. He's not, he's gained quite a bit of time and he's with a shout of this race win.
Yeah, and obviously if Ickle blocks does take the top step of the podium, that's 20 points at
25.
Casper. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the second place for Glock and Casper.
Right.
Obviously, 20 points to whoever finishes second. If it was Casper that finished second and Glock in third, then Glock would still be ahead of him in the standings. So this would be
Casper would have to win then.
Yeah, you either need Glock to fall back to P4, or he needs to win this race.
Yeah, let's see what Casper can do then. I wonder if Casper's just waiting for the promo. Oh, well that's cruel. Leroy got a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. I assumed he spun, and the game just gave him a rubbish penalty for that. Well, if I was Leroy, I would get that removed. I really didn't see what caused that, but Hopefully the stewards can investigate that at some point, because 10-second penalties around here is a bit harsh, not gonna lie. And there's one driver that's also in the picture that's also in the championship hunt as well. Because of those three squabbling, Mata is also going to try and catch up to this pack. So, and Mata is the one behind Glock in the standings.
Yeah, Mata could definitely begin to stamp his claim to the Formula Euro Open Championship here. It's going to be interesting as we got Nick and Finley battling out the two Aston Martins side by side right here. And this is a fantastic little scrap between the Aston Martin pairing.
They're bumping wheels as they head towards turn 8. Oh, they made contact. And they both reset to track. Oh, Finley's had a moment. I'm a bit worried this might cause a safety car here. So Finley, get your car back. There we go. When was the last time a Force India or Aston Martin came together? Oh yes, Perez and Stroll. Or was it Perez and Ocon?
Johan's in. He's making a pit stop and he's going to be opting for a fresh set of winters, that's for sure.
Not surprised.
I'm just going to bring up an interesting thing right here that could play a factor as Nico Box gets through on Casper. Up in the P2 now goes to Scuderia Ferrari. But yeah, the one thing I was going to bring up, Enzo currently in P7. If Enzo can get ahead of both Lakitu and Gareth.
Lakitu
then. I call him Lakitu. I say it how I read it. But if Enzo can get P5 out of this race, Glock has to win it.
Yeah. So Enzo's just playing it very quiet at this stage because people may think, yeah, Enzo's not a threat. But Enzo, it could be a threat here. So these guys gotta watch out. And I didn't really think about him either, so bring it on. This could be close. This could be close.
Is absolutely throwing a huge spanner in this championship fight right now. Because if Ickelbox wins and Enzo finishes 5th, Enzo wins. If Glock wins, obviously Glock would take it, and if Casper wins, Casper will take it. Same with Mata if he wins as well. But if Ickelbox wins, then Glock's in the best position to take the title if Enzo does not get 5th. And Enzo has been slowly creeping up to what's called Gareth and I'm gonna mispronounce his name again.
Lakitu.
I didn't want to mispronounce his name again. But he has been slowly creeping up, and Lakitu is also creeping up to Gareth as well. So these three are kind of converging on each other.
I'm just looking at this as well. So Glock's gonna win at this rate, so he will be champion. Casper would finish 3rd, so that will be 18 points. Mata will finish 4th, so that's 15 points. And then Enzo would finish 7th, so that will be 8 points. Where is he? There we go. Oh yeah, he's right at the top. Ickelbox is in. Another set of inters, but the track's drying. Or it might be just me imagining things. So another set of...
see if Enzo comes in.
Another set of inters for...
Enzo's in.
By the way, interesting stat. If it was to stay as it was, Glock would win the title. But no, Enzo would. Glock would win the title, but Enzo, Mata, and Casper would be tied on points.
So
if Glock was to win, Enzo to finish 7th, Mata to finish 4th, I think, and Casper to finish 3rd. That would be interesting. So it'll come down to count back on who's going to get the extra points in second and third.
It'd be Enzo, because he's got a race win.
It'll be Enzo and Mata, because Mata's got a second place.
Yeah, 2 second places at the moment. So I don't think the one.
Or did Casper get one in the sprint? I can't remember. Yeah, because it's hard to tell because it says 21 points, but...
Do you want me to bring up the old streamer now and have a little look to see if he did?
You might as well. I don't think you were commentating that race. You were commentating on the Tier 2 one, so you don't have a clue. But anyway, Ickelblocks joins in P6. I'll get the tyres up again, actually, so you can see who's on what. Lakitu's in. So, Ickelblocks will go ahead of him as well. I'm almost certain that certain drivers will say, if there was a safety car, I think a lot of people would come in, but we hope that there'll be no safety car. It's going to be tough getting it to the end. I think we could see some punches coming up soon as well. Luckily, I've got my own copy of the standings where it adds up automatically, so I should be able to add the points and it should work automatically, which is good. And of course, you get 2 points for the fastest lap as well. I think.
Casper did not get a podium in the sprint race for round 7.
Oh, right. So he just got... so it wasn't the feature that he did. Oh, yeah, I remember that now. I do remember.
Yeah, he had 8 seconds of time penalties. He did cross the line in third, but the time penalties dropped him behind.
Ah, so imagine what would have happened if he didn't get that time penalty. Ooh, ooh,
yeah,
ooh.
top 3 are in. Glock with a 5 second speed on.
Glock's got a 5 second penalty. That's huge.
Championship is on.
Softs.
Oh no.
It's dry. It's dry. As in it stopped raining. Ickelblock leads. Gareth second. DRS enabled. So, the ones that have stayed out manage their tyres well. Everyone's got to come in for softs now, surely. Oh no, Lakito. Why? Lakito's got 5 seconds for speeding. And he just came in as well, so he's going to lose loads of time.
I can't believe it's heartbreak for Ickelblock's Enzo and I believe Lakito as well, who all came into the pits for fresh inters just a lap or 2 ago.
Exactly. But I don't get... It's still quite damp. So... we will see what happens, but the ones on the softs are not gaining that much compared to the inters. Oh, scrap it, they are. They are. So we'll watch Glot. Oh, he's gained like almost a second.
This is going to be interesting, 100%, as we have to begin lap number 28. Ickelblocks is staying out on the inters.
Surely Gav's got to come in. Surely Gav's going to come in. Yes, he does.
Yeah, Gav's in.
Not surprised, because I think he saw the gap coming down and down and down. He's like, right, I'm coming in. But to be fair, the gap was still quite big anyway, so he might still come out in a decent position. I think he still come out 6th or 7th.
He should come out ahead of Johan, I think.
Yeah, so I think he'll still be fine. So that's what... maybe it's going to be tight. So Gav's going to come out...
well ahead.
Way ahead of Johan. So Gav's still coming out in 5th. So he hasn't lost out at all by staying out. The one that's going to lose out a lot is Ickelblocks. And
the thing is,
sorry.
Somebody closed in rapidly on him.
Glock's lost a bit of time in turn 8. The Inters are still faster in turn 8. You got to try and find the dry line, there's Glock. And by the way, Glock does have that time penalty. Oh! He's drifting the car. I don't think any tyre's the right tyre. You just got to make the tyre work. really.
Well, I kind of want to do what's called kind of bring this to the table right now. Glock with a 3-second time penalty, right? So Glock effectively is going to drop behind Casper and the Mata. 8 seconds. That's going to be very difficult for him to maintain. To extend that
would
gap.
Would it be Mata that would win the title then?
Yeah, it would. 1 point.
And don't forget, fastest lap as well.
Oh, yeah, that's number 1 as well, because that's brought back into play now as well.
Fastest lap belongs to Finley, and he's retired. I don't know why I'm laughing, I'm sorry. But
there's one down the inside of the log for P2, but a big snap of the rear for the McLaren, and he loses out again, but the Mata's just floating around that 1 second. Needs to get within 1 second, does the Mata, if he wants to make sure he sticks onto the back of these two.
Yeah, Ickle Blocks, I think, it's going to be no match, I think, because they're going to catch up anyway, and they're not going to fight too much. But if these keep squabbling, Enzo's definitely out of the fight now. Yeah. Which is sad.
Yeah, Enzo, go on.
It's sad because he won the race and he was looking like he was going to be favourite, but he's made quite a lot of mistakes here. What a shame. That 30-33. I have to say the gap is not coming down too closely. Even though it's dry now, so Icklebox is doing a great job on those inters, but it's going to wear off quite quickly, so let's see. Oh, Casper! He almost got a penalty then. Jeez. As he heads towards turn 3. Gently.
He's getting a little bit greedy on the throttle. A big real spin moment there for Casper. Again, and I was just about to bring up another little thing as well. Obviously, we're on lap 30 or 33. Igglebox, obviously, is going to commit now to the end. These guys are going to close up to Igglebox rapidly now in the closing couple of laps. If Casper can get himself ahead of Igglebox, then Casper will be back in position to win the title.
Yeah, so Casper, I'm just trying to see if Casper wins and if Mata finishes third.
He'll be second when Casper would.
Oh, yeah, good point. So, and then Glock would finish third. So that will be.
Could be fourth still.
Oh yeah, we could be fourth. So that'll be. So if Casper was to win, Mata second, Glock third, Casper would be the Formula Euro Open champion.
Yep, and if Igglebox can somehow hold on to this lead that he has.
Yellow flag! That is a Mercedes, that's a Keto.
Yeah, around goes the Mercedes. As I was about to say, obviously, if Igglebox can somehow take this to the checker flag and maintain the lead in this race, then the championship will be going the way of the Mata.
I have to say, this final bit of the race is going so quickly. Oh, Casper! Casper's passed Glock on track. Casper's passed Glock on track. Great stuff. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, fantastic from Casper, but he needs to get himself ahead of Igglebox to secure the title for himself. Right now, it's not enough.
It's not enough at the moment. I think he's going to finish second, I believe. As it stands. But don't forget Glock's time penalty as well. But I think it's going to drop him down to fourth anyway. No, third. Because of the gap between Igglebox. So we're on the penultimate lap very soon. Let us know your predictions. I just got to go down to the wire. I absolutely love this. I wonder if it's in the same as Tier 2 right now. The Mata gets past Glock. That is going to be Q. And he's going to get past Casper as well. No, he does not. Almost double overtake, but Glock to the inside. Glock can't get past either. Lakitu spun round again. But Lakitu's still going to get points, so Lakitu, hang it in there. You'll get points. You might have forgotten that at the moment. If, by the way, if Ickleblocks wins this race on Inters, I have to say that will be one of the best wins I've seen in a long time from him.
Yeah, absolutely. But 2.5 seconds, rapidly closing down now. It's 2 seconds from Casper and Ickleblocks. It's going to be a last lap effort from not only Casper, but from the Mata as well.
And Glock.
It's all marinating lovely right now.
This is crazy. We didn't get this in Bahrain, did we? But we're getting this in Portugal. So fasten your seatbelts, everybody. We're going to be in for a scrap full of... This is why this was a great idea for Gareth to introduce these regional championships, because everyone would be from the fight from the very start. We're down to 3 drivers, and Mata is going to try and fight for this regional title then on the last lap. Mata to the right-hand side, heading towards turn 1. This could be the nail-biting move that he was looking for in that Red Bull. And Mata is up to second, and he's closing in on Ickleblocks towards turn 3. He can't afford to make any mistakes. And Mata's in the lead. Now Casper's got to try and get past now as well. My oh my, this is great towards Torre Vip. And you can see Ickleblocks going really early on the brakes. He's trying to defend, bless him. And he is defending, heading towards turn 8. And that is what's costing Casper so much time. Casper's lost it. So I think we know what's going to happen at the moment. As Glot and Casper trying to get past. And all of this is allowing Matt just to pull away at the moment. Casper getting past. But I think it's going to be too little too late. Oh my goodness, this is quite tight at the moment. So I am going to put the results in. Let's follow. All we do know is we know that we're going to have a race winner on our mitts as well. He hasn't won a race in a long time. But there he goes, up to the line. He wins in Portugal. But has he done enough to secure the title? The answer to that is, I'm just going to try and do the maths. Where did Glot finish? Glot finished in 4th, so he scored 15 points. Mata has done enough. So Mata is your VSL Formula Euro Open champion for season 11. And he gets some extra points to his championship tally. An extra 15 points. And the second place will belong to Casper by 1 point, believe it or not. So he gets 10 points. And Glot will get an extra 5 points. And Mata wasn't even leading the championship up until this point. Wow.
I mean, Mata has just been going very casually about his races in the Formula Euro. When very...
Oh, fastest lap! Quite... We didn't see fastest lap, did we?
Oh. It's still Finley.
It's still Finley. Oh, good. Oh, wait. Did someone get it? No, it wouldn't have affected it anyway, would it? But Mata, I think, gained a lot of places. I'll have to say, Ickleblocks drive the day again. I have to say, he did quite well to defend the Inters like he did, so he definitely gets one of my drive of the days. Because I don't think I would have done that if I was on Inters. I would have been breezed past by a few of the guys on the soft tyres. But your Formula Euro champion celebrates on the podium. He knew. Hopefully he knows what's happened right now. I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either, but hopefully...
maybe Pete's watching the stream, so maybe he's told him. Let me look at the chat. I think he does. I think Locke's told him anyway, but your Formula Euro champion wins the race by 2 tenths. Well, could have been for Casper, but both of them have done a great job. Ickleblocks in 3rd, great result from him. Locke in 4th. Gareth, one of his best results of the season, 16th to 5th. That is, I think, a honourable mention, and definitely another drive of the day as well. He just kept himself calm. Wasn't involved in that much battles, but to be honest, sometimes if you just avoid the carnage, you can pick up the points. And he played the strategy to perfection today. Yarham in 6th, Nick in 7th, Twisted 8th, Enzo 9th, Lordy 10th, Why'd you stay on sauce when you should have gone on Inters? But there we go. Leroy in 11th, Lakitu 12th. Then we got Finley, David, Knighton, Ewan, and Yoshin on the retiree list. What a way to wrap up this championship. And we still got one more championship to go.
Yeah, and I'm just looking in the chat now, and apparently for Ickelbox and Casper, heartbreak for them, they had an audio glitch, and they lost their game audio in the last 2 laps.
Oh no! That's probably why they find it a bit hard to concentrate, because they relied them on too much on the gear shifts, too much, which is a bit of a shame for them. But hopefully it gets fixed for next time out as well. But we've had 10 rounds to go. Well, we've had 10 rounds already done, and we still got pretty much 4 more rounds to go before we crown an overall champion. I believe the overall championship leader is still Glock. So Glock is currently leading that one. So there will be an America's Cup champion to be crowned and an overall champion to be crowned. Oh my God, Mike, there's going to be loads of permutations, but I can't wait. But in 2 weeks' time, we got the big one, the 100% race around Brazil, and it's double points.
Yeah, and that is going to be a huge one for the drivers, looking to get themselves potentially back in the overall championship fight. But also, I mean, there's another championship that we haven't mentioned, the Constructors' Championship as well.
Yes.
That could be a big one for that as well. So 3 championships are going to be on the line in the final 4 races. The overall Drivers' Champion, the overall Constructors' Champion, and of course, the America's Cup Champion.
VSL is the place to be on Wednesday nights at 8 PM, but don't go watching us next week. We're on a break week. We're going to need it after this one. Break weeks always come at the worst time because it should have happened last week, but hey-ho, what can you do? So, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow us. No, like this video, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell if you are new. Follow us on Twitter at VSL_F1. Instagram the same, VSL_F1. Follow us on Twitter as well. I'm at JessGames95. Mike is at IberBrimMike. So make sure you follow us if you want to see more of our commentary. But we will see you in 2 weeks' time, in 14 days, for the America's Cup, where we've got Brazil, which is the 100% race. Then we head to Miami, Canada, and Las Vegas. You do not want to miss it. But take care, stay safe, and good night.